Yes, Ben Jordan, welcome back. Episode 19 of the Ressies podcast. I'm here with Checkers again, but again, no Shrey.
No Shrey.
No Shrey.
Week 2, missing.
Far out.
MIA.
We put out the call last week for him, but no response.
Still has not been home. His pantry's still, well, it's not full of food because we've been tucking into it a little bit.
It was going to go off, so...
We've replaced him again. We've got some extra guests in to replace Shrey. It's not hard to replace Shrey, is it?
No.
People are lining up at the door going, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do what he does. It's not special.
Come on in.
Well, we've got some special ones, though. We have got some good ones. One of them travelled from Wollongong.
Gee,
it's a long haul. We've got the CARLTON Besties on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Hard to get in. We asked them real early in the piece, but wouldn't give us a bar of it.
Gee whiz.
I had to plan flights. I can't just.
I thought it was because we had Shrey on the pod. I thought.
Yeah. We're trying to avoid him.
We were just
trying to kick him out at the right time to bring you two in.
You've travelled a long way to be on the Ressies pod. I mean, a lot of people travel further, but yeah, it's a very in-demand pod.
So we've got Jasmina and we've got Tori. So
maybe tell us who you are so the listeners can pick up your audio and know who's who, because there's two.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go.
Well, I'm Tori.
And I'm Jazz.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Tori, you're from Wollongong?
Tori, Tori from Wollongong.
Tori from the Gong, as I got introduced to her.
That is my name. That's how the listeners know me on the Besties podcast.
Tori from the Gong.
Yeah.
And I'm just Jasmina from Melbourne. I'm just here. I'm just here.
Nice. That's good descriptive stuff they've given us there.
That's very good.
What else do you want
to
to know?
What do you do?
Oh, sorry.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
show and tell. You know, you got a minute in front of the class in year 7. What do you?
I never did show and tell.
Oh.
Why?
I just decided not to do it. I didn't like it. I didn't like being the centre of attention when I was younger.
That's really ironic.
Which is weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Were you like in the corner like crying, like threatening to piss your pants if they dig off or something?
I'm not joking, yeah. Mum would write me a note.
Oh,
she's not doing show and tell.
How things have changed. She's running up to random people outside of the MCG now and asking them questions.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
So what do you do?
Okay, well, I'm a I just graduated uni. Actually got my certificate come through yesterday. Comms and Media grad. So
congratulations.
Thank you. But with that, made me set up a little podcast we do, me and Jazz, the CARLTON Besties, if you've heard of it.
If you haven't heard of it, you now have it. You can go check it out.
Living under a rock.
Yeah, true.
No, so that's what I do. I'm very social media orientated, so I do all that fun stuff. And then I found Jazz on Twitter one day, so we became friends. And
she's got 23,000 followers on Twitter.
She does.
Big name on Twitter.
Yeah, a little bit of a Twitter fame.
Do you want to give a background story on that one?
Sorry, formerly Twitter.
Formerly Twitter.
Do you want a background story?
Yeah, a background story.
I always get, you know, you bought your followers. I didn't.
Jazz from Twitter.
Followers. No, I didn't buy my followers.
Simply Jasmina, we call her.
Simply Jasmina. I was a very big One Direction 5 Sauce fan account when I was like 13. I've had Twitter since 2012.
Jeez.
And at one point I had over 50k.
And then you started posting about Paddy Cripps and all the followers left? Is that
no,
what happened?
I just like went on a hiatus for like 4 years.
And then when I popped up on Twitter, because I had to have it for uni, she popped back up at about the same time, and CARLTON just was starting to be good again. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
it was when
and we just kind of were coming up on each other's feeds.
So you met on Twitter?
Met on Twitter. She was popping up on my feed, and at the start, as most good friendships start, I thought, oh, this girl is driving me nuts.
You were driving me nuts, so that's fine. I'm glad it was mutual.
I think they're driving each other nuts.
Luckily, they live in different states, so it might be a bit of hand-to-hand combat in this.
We actually had a conversation about this because she is planning to move to Melbourne. But we made the decision that we probably couldn't live together.
No.
Too much argy-bargy.
I think we just
we argue enough over the phone that if we were together in each other's company for way too long. Yeah. We've gotten better.
You need to find a good friend to sort of like when you have that 50 cuffs, and you can be like, all right, I'm going to come over and stay at yours tonight because I'm about to belt her.
Well, that would be our Kirst. Yeah, Kirst would be
the mediator.
Yeah, her and Hannah, they take the middle ground, so we just...
The CARLTON Besties are now talking about fighting already. 4 minutes into the pod. They're no longer besties.
We haven't even brought up the besties yet, and they're still talking about fighting.
But Jazz reached out to me. We made a group chat of girls that go for CARLTON on iMessage. Was it iMessage?
I think so, yeah.
And then just evolved from there, I guess.
Started going and wandering outside the MCG.
That was a bit of an after thing, but that happened.
Started your podcast, started making a lot of content about CARLTON, and I mean, we haven't announced, but you're the first females we've had on the podcast. And Absolutely. Some of the first female creators we've seen blow up in the scene doing TikToks as well for a heavily male-dominated industry. So you're the first people we met or bumped into when we came to Melbourne. Myself and Shrey off the highway. We turned off the M1 into the CARLTON Besties.
Oh, Carlton versus Port game.
Carlton
My
versus Port.
personal favourite.
And yeah, we keep bumping into them while they're wandering. They're not very good at walking straight. That's why we keep bumping into them.
It's
Our
all about
cord gets
wandering.
in the way.
It's more Jasmina coming up and going, ha ha ha, we beat your team after they've won 14 on
With
the
the
trot or
mini
whatever it
mic
was.
waving around.
Yeah, whacking me in the face with the mini mic. But
So true. Yeah.
something you have done a few times. Yeah.
But I mean, fair enough. If we've been bumping into them in the last few games of September, Carlton must be doing something right to be ending up there. So credit to them.
First year making content together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some stats research. It's about all the research I did. You're up to 5K on Insta, 9K on TikTok. Obviously, Jasmina's got her One Direction followers as well on the side.
Yeah.
But you're growing heavily, and
It
in
is.
just 1 year, very short amount of time, considering Carlton haven't even won a flag yet.
It's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
We don't think we started it just as a podcast. Like, it was just meant to be the CARLTON Besties. We work very closely with Terry, who runs
Blue
the
Abroad.
Blue Abroad. Yeah.
Very good man.
And we were on a live stream on his channel, and he called us Besties Abroad was the idea. And from there, it kind of just grew, but it was just the thought to do a podcast. Started on Spotify, see how we go. Wandering Besties was a bit of an afterthought. We were going to get cursed. It was Wandering Kirsten was the point.
Yeah.
Just meant to be her. She was going to
We
wander.
weren't even meant to be involved.
It wasn't, it was just meant to be a once a week kind of thing on top of the podcast that we did, like a little side thing.
Not even once a week.
So for
No, it
those
was going to
playing
be
at
once
home,
every...
Wandering is pre-game, post-game. You guys got a
Yeah.
little microphone, and that's the iconic thing to the Besties is this
Yeah.
little tiny microphone the size of like a 5-cent piece.
Yeah.
And you see them outside the MCG just chasing people.
Where do you
Mostly
purchase-
Jasmina just chasing people.
Where do you purchase a microphone like
just
that?
Google
I-
Mini
yeah.
Mic online. You can buy them from a few places.
Because the audio quality on such a small device
They're not
is
bad.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Quite
There is a
spectacular.
few online. We've had to buy a
some
lot.
of them, the first lot we had broke really quickly. Like, one yank of that thing, done. But the ones that we have at the moment, they're a bit longer. They go all right. We've yanked.
We've
I've dropped
had
that
the
thing
same.
more times
Yeah.
than...
So you get the atmosphere before the game and then after the game. Obviously, when Carlton are winning, the fans are up and about.
So pre-game mostly is a question that's based off the players or something like that. So
But it's not footy based.
Yeah, what player do you think gets pineapple on their pizza? Something like that. Something to involve the fans in getting an answer. Post-game is give us your thoughts on what just happened, and
That's
scream.
when the
And
mayhem
one thing I've definitely
starts.
noticed from doing Marmalade TV is Carlton and Collingwood supporters are the best to interview because
give
they
you
are
the most
so
content.
animated.
Yes.
Carlton supporters genuinely scared for my life sometimes.
Yeah, no, same.
Luckily, they won a lot of games this year, so I didn't have to get too scared for my life.
There
but
was one piece of footage. I think it was after the Melbourne. No, it was after we beat Collingwood during the home and away season, the second time we played them, and I literally got swallowed up.
Yeah, there's a
by
clip
the fans.
and
There's a
she's
clip.
just-
I'm standing there, and they're all just swallowed me up. You can't see me anymore.
There's just a cord coming out of this big group of people.
and a
lots
little
of
mic's
noise.
gone missing.
It's gone missing. You can just hear Jasmine.
Have you ever lost a
screaming.
mic during wandering and had to replay it? Like, do you bring spares?
Yeah, so I have. I wandered in Sydney, and by the end of pre-game, it had broken. And I had another one in my bag, thank goodness, for post-game, but it just stopped working. Like, the sound just didn't work anymore. It's
I've
quite
never
interesting.
lost a mic.
No,
I've
Broken.
dropped
Missing it.
one and stepped on it, so I've flattened it.
Yeah, some of them have a good amount of dents in the top of the mic.
Yeah, still work. They still work. They just don't look as good.
They've got some quality on them.
Do you ever struggle? I know we do a similar thing. We do post game mostly, and we do get swamped a bit because I'm a 6'4" guy with a bowl cut mullet, so people just generally want to come and scream verbal abuse at me. You guys are like your girls outside the games with large male crowds at the footy. Do you ever find yourself out of your depth or struggle? Feel like you're getting swarmed by 100 people? Do you throwing elbows? Are you? I know Jazz is a scary operator, so she's.
So I don't have to do the post. I'm there. I get to watch when I do the post game. When I'm with Jazz, Jazz does post games mostly. When I had to chase people down in Sydney to find someone to talk to. But I think we're fine. I think we'll put people in their place if they're getting in our way or.
Jazz has
stepping on
got a
our
bit of
toes.
fire in her belly when it comes to the post gamers, and I reckon that puts people in line.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's because I come from the European background, so I'm just a very loud boisterous kind of person anyway. And yeah, no, I'm not afraid to put someone in their place.
Throw a few elbows, which he has thrown at me after they beat St Kilda.
Yeah, I've actually bashed him up.
Genuinely made me cry.
Yeah.
At my lowest point.
Wiki loser.
That was the exact taunt that I was copying outside Marvel Stadium.
Hey, it's all right, man. It's always next year.
I might start crying again. How's it been making content living in different states? You do a lot of your podcast obviously over Zoom, is that, or over the internet,
StreamYard.
Yeah.
StreamYard.
We it's started really difficult. Like, it was difficult at the start. Trying to find a time when we were both free. We were both full-time uni students this year, so trying to navigate our jobs, and like I can work anytime from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. with my part-time job. So finding a time where we can do that and edit and kind of work out things. Lots and lots of phone calls. If they did a phone call wrapped at the end of the year, it'd be mostly just me. It would be my most called person. But yeah, by now we've gotten a good balance of. I do bits, she does bits. We just kind of send each other when we can. But it's definitely not easy, and it wasn't easy, but we've kind of nailed it to this point where we know our system and it kind of just goes.
You did a lot of travel this year?
I did, yes.
You racked up a few frequent flyers?
We both did. So we went to every single Carlton game bar one.
Which was the one you missed?
Which is the one wandering we missed yet.
Which one was that?
Fremantle in Perth.
Well, that's fair. I was going to say, if it was something localish like Sydney, Adelaide, then...
No, but you know what?
But Perth, I don't want to go there.
That's the easiest one for me to go to. I've got family in Perth, so all I pay for is my flights, and I just go over there.
But you have to sit on a plane for 5 hours.
Even that, the flights.
No, but Perth is beautiful. Like, it's so nice. You make it like a week-long thing, and the weather's just always good there. I think I went in April.
Well, she went for the West Coast.
Yeah, so I think it was April, so it was still really hot there. Like, we were at the beach every day, whereas here it was like raining.
But yeah, we try and make trips out of it. So this is trip number.
I think it's like 6.
No, it's definitely like 11.
Oh,
jeez.
This year
I have been to Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and obviously Sydney this year. I have gotten on a plane every single month. Bar January.
To chase football.
Besides June, we drove down to Melbourne.
Gather round,
flew to Adelaide. Yep.
Did you go to the Hill?
Only once to see some friends.
It wasn't even us.
It wasn't even
I didn't know you then.
We didn't know you guys then.
We're friends with everyone on the Hill. Are you going to go to Gather round next year?
I am booked in.
I've got the passes because you bought them
I bought extra passes and now Jazz is going.
I have to do that for Shrey all the time. He's a little bit slack on the...
Well, I bought them for me and then I got better ones. So I'm going to pass the Hill ones off to Jazz. But we're going to make a wander the Hill.
Sorry, did you just say you have better ones that aren't the Hill?
I'm on the Hill. So
there's no such thing as better tickets than the Hill.
I think Jazz has got the best tickets.
No, well, the thing is I'm going with my mum. I'm going with a friend. And
take them to the Hill.
My mum won't stand for that long. But no, it'll be good. We got some plans. I can go to the Hill. I can just go to the Hill anyway. You don't have to have a Hill ticket.
You just waste a lot of cash buying the numpty tickets.
My seat tickets were cheaper than the Hill tickets.
It's because the Hill's the place to be.
Premium. You pay a premium to go to the Hill. Especially now that it's been redone. You pay a nice little premium.
I've actually got a question about the Hill. Is it really muddy? Does it get muddy on the Hill?
Depends if it rains. Towards the end of the year, so this is like right now.
I imagine when everyone's like been trampling on it for like the whole year. It would just
so they take like 2 months off letting people on the Hill. So like right now it's probably roped off, I'm assuming. Because I went to the cricket recently there and it's roped off. You can't get on the grass because they relay the grass every year.
Oh my God.
And there's a fun fact about the Hill that not a lot of people know is they water it using the River Torrens, which is directly outside the oval, and it's very much like Yarra water. So they have a sprinkler system that goes underneath the Torrens into the oval, so that it's all Torrens water or, I don't know, bore water of some form, not fresh water, and it's all just recycled Torrens water. So it smells. It has if it's freshly watered, it has like a duck poo smell. But it makes grass grow well or something. I don't know, there's some logic to it.
Do you want to trade the tickets?
But
grass is there. It's beautiful.
In the upside, we do wash away all the duck poo with chalky milk eventually. So
the smell of off milk.
But
as well.
no, they regrow the grass. The grass is pretty good round 1. It's getting a little bit dodgy by round 12. Round 20, it is pure
lucky
mud.
gather round's pretty early on.
Yeah, so it should be all right. There was
long as it
a lot
doesn't
of
rain
people
again.
on the hill for gather round. I think it's going to even double. They might need to extend. They need to knock out a few seats or something and make the hill bigger. But
By the time we were there for the Sandful Grand Final, it was more of a mound than a hill.
Yeah,
because
mud
it was just
pit.
mud.
can we get a
Lovely.
wandering
Dirt.
on the hill?
Yeah,
I just
that's
said that's
the
why I'm
plan.
sending her down there.
She's sending me.
Oh,
I might do one.
jeez.
I think you can just tell her she's not well. Good.
That's okay,
Pies
I'll
game,
do it.
The Pies
That's
game, I'm
right.
sitting right in front of the hill.
I'll do
so.
it.
Who are Carlton playing in gather round?
Fremantle.
Tick. Put that one in.
Well,
the
it's
books.
meant to be a tick
Well,
on against
at
Adelaide
the-
last year, but didn't
Yeah.
go plan.
Guys, clip me right now. You can bank those 4 points to the
Oh
baggers.
no.
There
Tough.
was a friend of the podcast, Jared Davis. You clipped up. He said, "What did he say? Carlton wouldn't win."
He said that we'd get knocked out against Sydney, so we wouldn't beat Sydney.
And you got a good clip out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually sitting in the studio right now wearing a
Joe's trying to
Collingwood
look
Guernsey.
very busy as
He's
we
looking very red.
talk about this.
The last
part
few
of the
podcasts,
segment.
Jared's been sitting here looking very red. We want the flag, he says.
Jeez.
That's good. It's good. You brought your boxing
Took
gloves
them
for later.
like 30 years to level up with Carlton, but that's all right.
I'm loving this beef. There's so much beef so early in the podcast. First, the besties wanted to belt each other. Now they want to belt Jara. As long as I'm not on the end of a
I've never
Jasmina
laid a
spray
hand
yet.
on Tory.
Yes,
ever.
it's
It's
one
usually
thing you
warm in
haven't
this
happened.
studio, but it's starting to get a little bit heated, even though we've got the fan on.
Maybe I should have brought my security guard tray today. How was it networking in your first year? Especially in the football market, it can be quite hard. You're living in different states, so you're not even together when you're networking. So maybe sometimes you meet someone, just meet us, and maybe sometimes you're meeting someone individually.
It's weird to say, but I think that it was more me
Yeah.
meeting people. We obviously had Terry, which was a big help because he's been in the industry for a very long time. But I think you guys were one of the first other creators that we got to meet. The club's been great. Carlton themselves
Amazing.
have been really receptive and helpful with what we do, which is really cool. I do a lot of media stuff, obviously, through uni, so a lot of my other side of friends all footy supporters for different clubs, so I go to a lot of games that Jazz wouldn't go to with them, but just through them and that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I think-
we haven't done a lot other than that.
It was really hard in the beginning because we were girls. And
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. So,
Yeah.
a quick brief. I looked at the Marmalade Analytics and we're sitting at 92% males as our followers. Do you find you guys have a crazy amount of men getting around you, or you're opening up the women's
There's
market?
Actually,
surprising.
surprisingly very
That's,
equal.
Jinx, jinx.
Yeah.
What do they
Sorry about
say? Did they say the same thing at the same time?
Jinx under a roof or something.
Yeah, something like that. I
weird.
don't know.
I can give you a little rundown. So for Instagram,
We're opening up analytics.
The
Last few
analytics.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
we're opening up Spotify
Yeah.
raps on the podcast.
yeah, no, we've got 54.7% women, 45.2%
So more
men.
women. So you're opening up the women market for
We
footy.
are.
And
Instagram, bit different to TikTok. I find that TikTok
is
is a little bit
predominantly
girls,
yeah.
yeah, but no, it's
so you're hitting the women market, and you're not even doing a lot of AFLW stuff. So you're honing in on the men's game, but finding the women in the markets.
Let us talk. I want to
We'll
talk
look
about
at
this
that.
because
Yeah.
we've not copped it, but
we've had a lot of questions on why we haven't done any yet. Now, the big thing for us was, one, living so far away from each other, getting to AFLW games when it was still overlapping with the men's season, and obviously I was in my final weeks of uni as that
So
was all
was I.
happening. So we've both graduated now, so it gives us a
So
bit more
next
time. But
year,
it was just
AFLW is going to
that's
come
the
out
plan.
big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we want to get down and do like the open trainings like we do with the Carlton boys, with the girls, and get to more games. Once I move, I'm
Yeah.
going to try my
Live at
best to
Icon
get down
Park.
there.
I
Yeah.
mean the girls have been so good though. The Carlton girls, they all get around us, even though we haven't really done anything with
Yeah.
them yet. Because I think we've kind of made it clear that we do have the intention of doing that. But the main reason that we stuck with the men as well is because it's this thing that men are supposed to talk about the men and we are meant to talk about the women. That's like the narrative.
Breaking down some stereotypes
So
and
the whole reason that we wanted to really hone in on the men and only the men and make it our priority this year was to be like, hey, like we can do that too. And like footy's been in my life since I was born.
Yeah.
Like I've been going to the games and a member since I was 4 years old. I have not missed a game in Melbourne since I was 4. Like, yeah, I like would not go to birthday parties at like Lollipops to go to the game with my dad.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Commitment.
That's
I
commitment.
was pretty much the
What's
same when I
lollipops,
lived
by the
here.
way?
Yeah,
Oh my
what is
God.
lollipops?
You guys
So it
don't know
sounds
what
good. I
lollipops
like
is?
the sound of it.
It's
It's
like
like
a
an indoor
giant
play centre.
Indoor
Oh,
play centre
okay.
for kids.
Where, like, the
maybe
kids'
not as
parties
good.
would
I
be.
was hoping it was just like
Lollipops.
lots of lollipops.
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's
like
not.
a very big candy store. or
Candy
something.
store, yeah.
Sorry to disappoint. It's
Damn.
Definitely not.
But do continue about the.
Sorry.
Well, no,
I'm
yeah.
just
Just
a little bit
before-
hungry.
just
I'm
before
getting
you
to that, getting to
cut
that
it off.
hungry stage of the podcast.
But yeah, the original, when obviously the plan to start it and everything, men's season was starting. So that was the big priority, to get that stuff out and get ourselves known through that. And then we obviously want to try and get as much into the women content next year as possible. Obviously, if you've seen, we're expanding.
Expending.
It is on the things I want to talk about.
Oh,
Besties
good.
footy.
Should we get there later?
We'll leave it. I still think we're
Okay.
honing in on Carlton.
Well,
I still
this
think
is
we
a sneak
haven't
peek.
touched the surface
No, you really
of
haven't.
Carlton. And it's
You
scary
really
because this
haven't.
podcast could go for hours.
Yes.
Jasmina one time called me and was just telling me all about Zach Fisher, Sam Durden, David Cunningham. And I was like, Jasmine, I have things to do. I don't know,
He's
listen
like,
to
I've gotta
David
go.
Cunningham.
Jasmine
It's
can talk for
alright,
hours.
don't worry
David
about it.
Cunningham's VFL form, you know.
It's good though.
Carlton, let's
Yeah.
open that. Let's take the lid off Carlton.
Oh.
The lid's off. The lid is already off.
Let him walk into that one. Just
Yeah.
freebie. How many? You got to every game except one this year.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your favourite player this year to watch?
It's so controversial.
watch.
Mine's
Because-
my Harry Mackay's my favourite player, and
But to watch this
To
year,
watch
yeah,
this year.
because I don't get to a lot of games, and
We
I
didn't do a lot
two of
this
the-
year.
Oh yeah, but favourite player just in general
Yeah,
who
to
did
watch
well.
this year.
I still love Harry, but no. I loved.
don't say who I'm gonna say. I'll get really annoyed
Oh,
at you.
do you want to go first?
No,
then?
you go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
One of yous has to go.
Just go.
One of yous has to go.
There's a quick follow-up question coming. So
Adam
just
Chera.
Adam Chera. Adam,
Yeah.
it's good. He had a good year.
Yeah, we love Ches.
Are you
He's
kidding?
very good year.
Was that
Oh,
who
but
you were
you
going to
said
say?
Adam Chera.
So
I
Adam
thought you
Chera
were
is your
gonna do
favourite
Charlie.
one.
Charlie.
That's I'll say Charlie because I thought you were
Oh,
going to say
okay.
Charlie. So
Fine.
yeah,
Okay.
And it was
Adam
the
Chera.
same length. Who was your favourite player to interview or interact with? Because sometimes it's very
Adam
different to
Chera.
people.
Really?
And he's just funny. I got the Sydney one as well.
Oh yeah, true.
He doesn't love it sometimes. He's just a bit. Hates being put on the spot. We had
Yeah.
a bit of a chat with him at BNF. He's informed us just to send him a DM before an
What the
open
question's
training,
going to be?
just to
'cause
warn
he doesn't
him.
like to be.
but
put on the spot.
he
Fair
doesn't
enough.
like. Yeah, but he gave us a good laugh.
Yeah. I mean,
Patrick's pretty good too.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Cripps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
and
Not
big
Patrick
bestie.
Binns.
Use-
Is
use
there
the
another
full
Patrick
name.
on the
No.
tree?
Literally no other
No,
Patricks.
there's just the one Patrick. He like shocked me a little bit. You know, being the captain, like you think he's going to be like a little bit more serious than the rest of them. He like ate it up.
Yeah.
Like loved it.
Love the
Loves
content.
besties,
Yeah. And he's just been so great. Like every time he sees
So
us,
it's our
like
favourite show.
Yeah.
Like, love it.
it's good.
girls.
It's
Very
really
handy.
nice.
Is there
Yeah.
any players who surprise you? You said Patrick surprised you a little bit, but sometimes when I go to clubs to do content work, you obviously have my favourite players, or the ones that are always in the media, and you go to them first, and then you leave and you get in the car. I mean, we'll drive home and I go, Jesus, that guy that I didn't think would give us anything gave us everything.
Patrick.
Well, I think Patrick's a big one. Like, yeah, he's in the media, but giving that man a tiny pink mic's a bit interesting.
It is
you know?
interesting. It's big, tall,
They get
rough
lots of
cripper.
comments about, oh, tiny mic. Like, they make a joke about it, or big mic. Like, they
Whatever
say
they
those
say.
things. Yeah.
Will there ever be a besties where you take the biggest mic in?
No.
It's a bit of a swap
That
around.
would be funny.
How are we going to carry that?
Maybe
thing
April
in?
Fools if they.
Or put the little mic inside a really big, like, fake mic.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That actually would be
We
fun.
might-
Maybe round
wrap
zero,
that down.
Kick it off.
Yeah, put that in
Opening
the
round?
Oh
big
yeah,
things.
I'll just take it to the Gabba. This giant microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in the,
Yeah.
put it in the hand luggage.
Yeah, no worries.
Carry on.
I'll
Maybe,
just book another seat for the mic.
You
In the
mentioned a
overhead.
little bit before you bumped into the players at the BNF. You just said you enjoyed doing stuff with Cripper. There was a very good moment, probably a great way to end the year for Carlton Besties, where you went to the BNF and you actually gave Charlie Curnow and Paddy Cripps some friendship bracelets.
Very
Do you know if
wholesome.
they're still wearing them?
Charlie actually accepted his award wearing the
bracelet.
friendship bracelet. So in all of his photos, when he's like holding,
You can see
you
it.
can
It's
see
just
it.
this blue little beaded
Um,
bracelet.
Also, Alex Sincotta and Jordan Boyd also got besties bracelets, but that was from the other two girls.
Don't have
So it didn't mean as much to you guys as that.
Oh, they absolutely
they
do.
do.
I would have handed out a bracelet to every single one of them if I had the opportunity.
But we didn't have the time.
Yeah, we're
or the
busy,
resources.
No.
And you get some more bracelets for next year.
They're maybe.
Oh, we've thought
we'll see
about
who's
that.
lucky. We'll
But
see
yeah.
who
Depends the impression that you leave with
Yeah.
us for the year. Like those 4 were amazing all through the year.
Wandering, yeah. Chez kind of got
stiffed.
left out, but he.
Talk
we're-
about Ches so much here, but
No,
they
I
didn't give him a
know.
bracelet.
We're planning. I reckon we'll give him an award next year, just Bestie of the Year.
Bestie of the Year award.
We're doing a
Jeez.
besties and fairest next year.
This
Proper-
podcast has turned into a massive content planning session, I feel.
Yeah,
We've
this
just-
is good for.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I
This is
haven't
just a-
seen. I got here
this is a
yesterday,
hard
and this is
launch.
the first time I've seen Jazz since landing in Melbourne. So
Yeah.
this is the first time we've gotten to talk in a while,
Yeah.
face to face.
Other than
face to
FaceTime.
face, other than slamming the phone down in anger, ready to punch the other one because they just arguing.
Great. Breaking news, besties are fighting.
breaking
of
news.
these
Besties
lies.
hate each other. No, they actually don't. They're
But
actually
hard
good
launch on the Ressies podcast.
Dirty little liars.
friends. Besties footy. We can open it up now. What is it? We've seen it trending on our Instagrams.
We've
Obviously,
seen the
we
new
know
Insta.
we know the Carlton Besties that's been around this year, but you've opened up a new. You're taking the lid off another something else.
Yeah. So Besties footy. Carlton Besties did well, and we actually have a lot of people who come up to us that are opposition supporters and go, "We love what you guys do," or we watch the TikToks all the time, and they don't even go for Carlton. So it kind of like, we can see that there's a bit of an audience forming that don't really care for Carlton, but they love what we do, riding up to people and shoving a mic in their face. So
Respectfully.
respect very nicely. But the plan to expand in a way where it's still kind of controllable from a certain extent. Obviously, having all 18 teams, having a Wandering Besties team would be amazing. But for right now, Carlton Besties is our priority, as you would imagine. But we've created Besties Footy. We've recruited 3 teams worth of Besties to help us out, get to open trainings, post-game content when they can, game day vlogs, things like that, just trying to open up to a few other teams. I personally am going to go to Sydney, Melbourne opening round and Pies Giants opening round, and
So will you be getting behind the mic for other teams?
I
yeah,
will not
so
be.
She won't be. I will be.
That will not be
Um,
happening.
Something I do a lot of for Marmalade
Yeah.
is I'll be wearing a Pies Guernsey 1 minute and the next
see,
night wearing a
this is where
Carlton Guernsey.
this
so.
is where it gets interesting. I will never, ever, ever put on another team's colours,
Never.
but I will do the Wandering.
for the
we're
sake
gonna-
of content.
We're gonna
Nah.
we're gonna get Besties scarves.
Fair enough. You can dress up in your own merch, I guess. Then.
Exactly.
So you're starting a bit of a network for female creators, I guess. Is
Well,
that what
yeah.
you want
That's
to
the
be?
plan.
You want to be? They call people the godfather of content. What do we call the queens?
Queens.
Queens of the female content world for
That's
AFL.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be introducing
Queens
your
of
model
footy.
to other girls to go out and copy or go out and give them advice and tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to get obviously.
All 18 teams. Is
Yes, that is the
that's
plan
goal.
in the near far future to start. If it's a year or so, we'll try and just stick with what we've got for the next. We'll try and get the girls out there, and for the next year, 2025, we might add a few more teams on. See how it goes. I think because we're doing it off one account, so Besties Footy is the only other account. We won't make like a Hawthorn Besties, a Saints Besties. They'll
Not
just be
overflood it.
within.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just do it in the one. If it gets to a point where we can make other accounts, we will. But we think it's just trying to get that little bit of extra content here or there, and then allow us to be able to do a little bit of extra as well. Aside from Carlton, as like Carlton Besties, we still have the pod. We still do all of that. That'll be still the main priority, but trying to just expand it a little bit further to get as many people involved as possible.
I mean, the goal would be to be able to just let the girls go and just be like, do your thing, and literally all we have to do is like tick it off, like tick the content off,
Send it
upload
back
it.
and we'll put it up.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
When
literally-
you break a mic, let me know and I'll give you another
Another
one
one.
because
Yeah,
I've got
like that's-
Jasmine has got 5 in her handbag. That's at all times.
Actually,
I actually have one in my handbag.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I take it with me everywhere. You never know.
You never know.
when you're going to bump into Cripper.
Yeah.
Never
Always-
know when you're going to bump into Sam Durden.
Always wondering.
Always wondering.
Always wondering. All the time.
That was a lot of.
Where did you recruit the girls from for the new besties? Were they from
So-
Twitter as well? Were they only?
Yeah. So we know.
So
Know
the
them.
Saints girls. So Bryony is one of them. She's my best friend outside of
Carlton.
The
Carlton.
besties.
Yeah.
Told you they weren't besties.
No,
We are.
We are.
He's just
Come on,
trying to
checkers.
find. He's
He's
just trying to
trying
find
to
a
find
title.
out.
He's trying to crack the besties.
He's trying to find a clip.
Yeah, we want to get you guys fighting.
It's not gonna happen.
Good luck with that. It's not going to happen. That's a private time thing. But yeah, Bryony is one of my best friends. She's a massive Saints supporter, been a Saints supporter her whole life. She did actually jump on the mic earlier this year, I think
she's
round
helped.
2.
She actually had a Carlton scarf on.
Yeah, and she jumped on the mic for the Baggers when we beat Geelong. She did a really good job. And I just think she just kind of...
People loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just
I
did
loved
So
such a
she's
good
ready
job.
to take over and
She's
do her
ready to
own.
go. Saints is pretty much
Oh, yeah. Like,
ready
honestly,
set.
we can just let
leave
them
her. Then Brisbane Loz is on our podcast. We have our friend Cam, who jumps on and he does a controversial Camilla, we like to call it, segment. It's his wife, but she's a Brisbane supporter.
Does she live in Brisbane? Or
No, she lives in
so
Melbourne.
they live in Melbourne.
she's going to struggle to get to a lot of games.
Well,
she
yeah.
reckons?
So we
Hang
have,
on.
Yeah. We have Loz.
Besties
and
are
then
loaded. They're just paying for everyone's flights.
They've just got it all on tap.
We've got Loz, and then Chelsea, who lives in Brisbane. She goes to a lot of the open trainings and stuff, has a pretty good relationship with a lot of the players
already.
content-wise already. So we've got her in Brisbane, Loz is Melbourne-based, so they'll both do their
It
kind
probably
of
works
stuff.
out good for them.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah.
The
and
besties
then-
of both worlds.
Yeah.
The Hawthorn girls,
We found literal Hawthorn besties off Twitter.
yeah,
and just
that have
said,
been
hey.
friends for 30 years. I'm not joking. Like, they've literally been friends since they were born.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
besties.
and they obviously both go for Hawthorn, go to all the games together. So we
Yeah.
said, yeah, okay.
Here you go.
You'll
Here's
do.
your mic. Off you go.
Perfect. I reckon once it kicks up, you're going to see a lot of girls flood your inbox wanting to take over and be
We've
like,
It is
already had that.
started.
there's some good young female creators in Adelaide. I know that always come up on the hill and interview me whenever I'm there. So maybe we'll find a few of them doing Crows
Yeah.
Report.
Alana?
Alana
Yes.
loves. She could definitely do a wandering.
So
She
send
would
them-
crush it.
Yeah, send them
the
this
besties
way.
Always
now.
stitches me up whenever I go to the hill. She wants me to do Fortnite dancing or something silly and make a goof
Oh.
of myself. So, no, if she can get lots of people doing that, I'm sure she'll get lots of plays on the bestie episodes. The podcast, you brought up before. You have your own podcast. How's it going? 28 episodes I've seen in the first season, which is crazy
Yeah.
numbers considering you live in different states and you
Yeah.
have to find times to record, like you said. Me and Will live together. The podcast studio is 2 minutes from our
Makes
house,
it
and we
easy.
still struggle to get in here sometimes.
Yeah. No, we just kind of made it. We would drop everything to make it work. Like if we had other plans, got to move those plans or
Yeah.
find a time. I think for me, I edit the podcast, so making sure I had enough time from filming, to editing to posting. That was probably the biggest struggle because we wanted to get episodes out every Wednesday. Obviously, if we had a Sunday game, we were a bit more lenient on getting it out like a Friday or something. But those Thursday night games early in the season was
Oh,
definitely
the best.
it was good, but it was hard for content to
It
get them
was.
out on time.
But it was good for the pod.
But yeah, we said the podcast was the main idea. The Carlton Besties was a podcast.
It
That was
wasn't meant to be anything else.
Yeah, so that's why it goes from there. So we put a lot of time into it early on. We still obviously do, and as time went on, it stayed pretty good. I think we love when people come up for wandering and they go, oh, I was listening to the podcast, or I've listened to every episode. Like that's the things that we're like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Because
kind
the
of thing.
podcast was the initial idea, but the wandering's the thing that's obviously you got a
That
lot of
gets the
eyes on the
most-
besties this year. You got some
Yeah.
good view counts and some really good followers and likes
Yeah.
and stuff on it. So that, a lot of those fans sometimes I find with the Div 12 Ressies stuff, we had people come to us like, oh my god, I love that you guys started this year doing content. I was like, bro, I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, and they don't
Yeah.
know who you are other than your most recent piece.
Yeah.
But if you got like day oneers who've
So
watched the
they're,
podcast,
they're the ones that kind of take us back a little bit when we are.
And we go, oh my god.
Oh my god, stop! And we don't know what to say. We're still learning. We're still learning how to
yeah, we're not very
people
good
go-
at receiving. Like, I love you so much.
And
Like,
we're just like,
we don't know how. Like, we don't know what to say.
you need to
'cause
mass produce these bestie bracelets. I love
The
you so much.
best-
Have a bestie bracelet.
There you go. Thank
Well,
you so much.
we didn't bring it. We have cards that we're handing out that have QR codes because we get people asking like, oh, where's it going to be? And we're just going to hold up our phone and be like, here, like scan the code.
Yeah, early days of Marmalade TV, we just had a black microphone and people would come up and ask where we're from and refuse to get on unless they knew where we were from, because we could be from a betting agency, we could be from the TV. They wouldn't know where the video is going to go. But if they feel that it's going to be on a safe space, especially like, hey, we're two girls uploading to TikTok, it's safe, they're more likely to say some good stuff.
I actually think the mini mic helps. I think the fact that we don't have a big professional mic, they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's just going on.
Because it's so petite, it's not going to bite you. And
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's
It's
not
not
scary.
going to do a
Yeah.
lot.
You're not going to end up on Channel 7 with this little
just
mic.
think,
No,
some
no.
people just think it's a prop. Like they don't realize that it actually
Picks up sound.
This isn't RBT, you're fine. Your
That's
wife's not going to
two.
leave you if you speak into this.
Let's stop that.
these besties are matching their words scarily close to each other, and it's
This happens on our podcast very
All the
often,
time.
and like you don't know if we're actually in sync because of the time delay online when you're doing a podcast. Like, it's weird because you don't know who actually has said it first, kind of thing. But it happens often. We have a little bit of people. This is
People
fun
think
thinking
we
with-
look like sisters. Were you going to say that?
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
people
actually a
think.
question we had come in for feedback later on in the episode.
Oh,
Yeah, a few people asked if you guys were twins.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll get to that.
Yeah. But the singing up your words, it reminds me of like Big Brother. And they used to like put housemates in 2 separate rooms. You had to go in the diary room and say an answer, and your mate had to come in and match up
We would do that
to win
I
prizes.
actually think we'd be fine.
We'd be fine.
Yeah, so it's like, who's your favourite Carlton defender? Go. They didn't sing. They didn't
No.
sing.
They
I was
didn't
hoping they'd
sing.
both say Sam
You were
Durden.
making me
Then-
think.
Well, we've
Alright.
obviously
Who's your favourite Carlton forward?
Charlie Curnow.
Who's your favourite Carlton coach?
Michael
Michael
Voss.
Who's your favourite Carlton ruckman?
Tom DeConey.
Yeah, Tom DeConey.
Oh, I wasn't quite seeing
Sorry,
that.
but
We're gonna have to
yeah,
work
no.
on that
I
one.
had to think about
we're
that.
gonna go back.
She
We would've
almost
so-
went
we
Mark
so would've-
Pinnett.
No, because we
So
so would
would've
have said Matthew Cruiser.
This is scary. We need to get into listeners' questions. This is freaking me out a little bit.
One more.
Okay,
We've got to go back to the defender. Who's your favourite Carlton defender?
Brody Kemp.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
Well, I was like kind of going
we can do
Jacob
it again. We can
Weidering.
do it
No,
again.
I
Line
would have said
that.
Jacob.
Okay, do it
but-
again.
Who's your
Do you want
favourite
Brody
Carlton?
Kemp?
Yeah, because he's bestie.
All right. Who's your favourite Carlton defender?
Brody Kemp.
Oh, no way. All right, we've asked our questions to you. Now, we did hit up our Instagram page and we've got some questions.
I'm
from
really
a few
scared for
people.
this. I'm not going
There's
to lie
some
to
real
you.
curly,
I'm
crook
excited.
questions in here.
It's very...
They're going to make you guys want to hate each other.
Oh, are they?
No, that's
I already
pretty,
hate
they're
it.
actually pretty cruisy.
Throw hands.
I already
punch.
hate it. I'm just in a.
You
I'm
just
just
give
in
him
a
what he wanted.
contract.
Yes. We can clip all this up and
This is
take down the
perfect.
besties once and for all.
This is
Oh.
perfect. And
Are you
we've got
threatened?
and we've got witnesses.
Are you
I'm
threatened?
threatened after you called me a loser after some
It was
cool
actually a
voice.
wiki
Wiki
loser
loser,
because
yeah.
you're a DJ.
I got the pun, yeah.
All right, first question. It is from Blue Abroad.
Oh, Terry.
Desi Wesi.
Oh, Tessie
Maybe I shouldn't have said it was from Blue Abroad. Where do you see the besties in 5 years?
Of course, he gave us this question. All 18 teams, besties footy, Carlton besties,
Like,
wandering
Yeah.
everywhere. Hopefully, this is a bit. We're really going out there. Other sports. We've floated the idea of wandering at the Oz Open.
yeah, I
Um,
like that.
That relates to a question we have coming up next, I think.
Oh.
But
There we go.
Yeah, probably, like, I mean,
5 years is a long time. We think consistency is key, so that's why we don't want to expand too much too fast. Yeah.
still on TikTok and Instagram, or do you want to take it to other platforms? Like something a lot of people that I deal with, they always want to go to TV. They want to do doco series, and maybe they want their own radio show. They want their own podcast,
Well,
which you guys
no.
already have.
I think
the podcast is probably, like, that's our baby. I mean, the next step of that would be doing it face to face. But I've
Yeah,
got
having in
an
person.
art room at my house that my dad built me when I turned 21 as like my birthday gift because I'm a painter. And in there, I've got plenty of space to like set up a studio. It's soundproof. It's all that. Good lighting. So literally, once we do that, I feel like that's the next level
Step
for us
for the
in regards to the podcast.
wandering wise, we
I
can't
don't
do
think-
much else in like at the moment anyway, other than expanding and getting more besties in. We just want to stay consistent because that's the best way to get it bigger and get people knowing, like seeing the girls do what they do best.
I mean, are you interested in doing TV?
Not
No.
really.
Would you want
Yeah.
to do besties wandering on maybe the Carlton channels, the AFL channels, maybe for like a Fox Footy segment every now and
It's
then? Like, there's got to be some
interesting.
dreams
It's interesting,
that
but
I want to tap into here. 5 years is a
weirdly-
long time.
I know.
weirdly not.
Shoot big.
We kind of like just the fact that we're our own bosses and
We
we
like the
tick off
freedom.
what the
Control your own content.
Yeah.
we like that we tick off what goes up, what doesn't. We worked with Carlton a little bit this year, just like behind the scenes, or them getting us a spot somewhere or things like that, which is great.
But
and I
they've
think
given us complete freedom. Like, they haven't.
we're safety first, and we're always never going to put on anything up that's going to
The
be.
product's pretty safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to put up anything that's going to like.
We've had so many
negative-
things being said, like by the fans,
Oh,
by
about
the
players,
players,
like about
yeah,
things,
about players, about things
that you just can't
that
put in
we
there that
know,
we
yeah.
know, like
it's not a good look.
So an early thing that I learned as well was like the swearing you get sometimes after the game, especially after night games when people are a little bit more intoxicated.
Yeah.
Maybe not
We
using
beep
those
it.
people that are intoxicated.
Yeah, so we beep a lot of the swearing if there is some of it we have to just
I
cut
swear
out.
a lot.
Yeah, I've really tried
Sorry.
to. She does it on the pod, and I have to just me. No.
Say it again
You're
without
taking
the
me an
words.
extra 30 minutes
Yeah.
in editing, just going
Yeah.
through and
Literally.
bleeping you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing that happens.
Sorry.
But it can
Um,
be the thing that makes or breaks. I see some other content creators, maybe they don't bleep or they do not abuse, but like use the footage of intoxicated people a lot, or
we don't want to
controversial
negatively.
opinions of
Yeah.
players, and they put it in, and then they'd be like, "Why won't the club work with me?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You've just slandered 15 of their players. Probably the players that want to hang out with you."
People will say the most, especially when we went through that losing streak, people were saying the most horrific things. And Tori didn't really get to witness too much of it because most of our losses
Were they not
in Melbourne.
spitting on the players or something, or howling
Yeah.
at them after one of the early
Yeah,
losses?
down the race. And
That-
it was so bad. And I just remembered it got to the point where I didn't even want to wander anymore because I was just like, I'm sick of how negative everyone is being. Like, they are people.
They
like
are
the
just
players
people.
are people. I know that they make all this money and they run around the field and we watch them for our entertainment, but they're people. So the main thing for us and the main reason that we steer so clear of football related questions when we talk to the players and all that kind of stuff is because we really, well, I find the way that the mainstream media approaches the players really dehumanizing. So
It can be attacking. It can be a bit confronting
Yeah.
for them. So they do actually. I find sometimes we do social media with players is they enjoy it
They
Yeah.
love
because
it.
they're like, this is
Well, that's what
such
I
a
think,
takeaway
and
from what I normally get dealt with at presses.
That's why I think when we hand them a tiny pink mic over the fence and they're just like, oh, okay,
And asking
like,
about Taylor Swift.
I'm asking
Yeah.
you what your favourite Taylor Swift song, your favourite Harry Styles. Like they actually like, even at the BNF, Jazz asked. We got a bit of a spot. Carlton popped us just outside the little room to do a few questions with the boys, and a few of them, they're like, oh, like I don't know, and Jazz is just like, I just want to ask you what socks you're wearing. I'll be honest, and they go, oh, is that it? And they're like, yeah, and then they're fine. They love it,
Yeah.
and they like get David Cunningham. So shout out to his Buttergood
Yeah.
socks.
Yeah, Buttergood socks.
He literally
was really
just like,
he
oh,
was
is that
really
it?
like, oh, what are you gonna ask me? And I was like, I literally just want you to give me a sock
sock
reveal.
reveal. And he walked away laughing after.
And he was like, that was the
and
best. He goes, can I do it again?
Yeah, like they love it. They love that it's so kind of just.
But it
chill
also
and
means
easy.
that we get to know them on a level that you don't really get to know them on.
a more personal level because they feel more free to say what they want. They're not like they're
I
not
feel
the generic sportsmen where they have to like, yeah, we played a really good game today. The boys are working
Yeah,
hard on the
we
track. Like,
I don't
we
care.
love the
Or, like,
footy.
I do care.
We
Like,
love the footy.
I
We
care.
care so much, but I feel like us critically evaluating games changes a lot now that we talk to it. Like we know them a little bit better. Like we have those like connections with a few of them.
Yeah.
Besties wise, that it's opened up like you had a bad game, but I'm not going to slam you for it because you're a person, and I know that how hard that
You
can
have
be on
feelings
someone.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there's more
Yeah.
to it than just you're running around in a football field and I can say what I want because you don't know me, but you kind of know us now, so you can't say what you want, and we want to make sure it's a safe space. That was
Yeah.
our big thing, making a really safe space, and because we are girls and it is a very male dominated industry, is to like put up that we don't only care
about the stats and who's playing their best game.
It's a girly touch to the
Yeah.
normal footy stuff, but also getting the questions that as girls we want to know.
probably why you've attracted so many percentage of females in your analytics, like we said before, and got all these girls watching your content, is because they don't care to. Some would.
we
Some
definitely-
do. Like,
and
I
that's
do.
what the
But-
podcast is more for. The podcast we talk about footy. Wandering's a bit more. Let's run around and have a laugh.
Yeah.
You might not
Um,
even be getting, even some of the men you're getting watching probably might not even be diehard footy fans, but they're
It's
just watching for the sake of like, it's lighthearted,
And it's
relatable
amazing
content.
how many people have like even said to us how much they've learnt about footy. Like I, obviously living in Wollongong, have friends that don't understand what I do at all, but have gotten into footy, started following a team and listened to the podcast and learnt about footy from doing that. And I think that's a really cool thing, that even if you're not into footy, we want to explain it in a way that other people can understand it.
I mean,
If
it
that
is.
makes sense.
It's really hard. I mean, I grew up watching the footy, and
Yeah, same.
my dad still is my best friend when it comes to that. I still go with my dad. Like Tori will be like, oh, like let's go to the footy. I'm like, yeah, we can go, but you're coming with me and my dad. Like,
Yeah.
I won't ditch my dad ever. But I was lucky to grow up in that kind of a space where my dad kind of educated me along the way. But it still was hard to understand as a girl in such a male-dominated space the actual ins and outs of football. So we wanted to really break that barrier down and just simplify it, make it easy to understand, and put an emotional twist on the whole thing.
Because a girl's got to watch a footy game and feel a different way to how a guy would.
And that's
at
just
the end of the day.
It's just science.
Finding what people enjoy to take away from the footy.
Yeah.
That was a long answer to the question. We got
was
places.
about
We got
that.
places. Thanks, Terry. You've
Sorry.
opened up a very
Sorry.
good can of... No,
Sorry.
don't be
It was a
sorry.
good
That was
can-
good
it
from
was a good
Terry.
can of
He's
worms,
opened
that
a good
one.
can.
We love Terry.
5
Next
years.
question. I don't know if these people are personal friends because the question's structured a little bit funny. It's very hard to pronounce. Mira Mondash has said, opening, in less than 30 seconds, who is your favourite Carlton player of all time?
All
And
time.
why?
30 seconds starts now.
My favourite Carlton player of all time is Brendan Favola, purely because he brought so much joy to a very, very dark time at the football club, especially me being so young. Like, all you care about is winning when you're that young, and just going through so many losses, and him just bringing so much joy and energy. I know his career didn't end the way it should have, but I'll always love Fev.
That's pretty good. She got just in within the 30.
My favourite Carlton player of all time is actually Patrick Cripps, and it's bizarre that you say that, but my main knowledge of footy came from that age where obviously I've been watching my whole life, but when he got drafted, I feel like that's when I started understanding footy to a new level, and I've kind of got to go through that with him, and now we're at a spot where I get to enjoy it as well.
And hang out with him.
Exactly.
Hand him bracelets and
give him besties bracelets. It's pretty cool.
and interview him.
Party with him. Charlotte Fallen, we did touch on this earlier. Would the besties consider covering different sports such as tennis, AFLW? Obviously, we've talked about that for the future. Any other sports that you'd...
She said cricket, question mark.
Yeah, cricket as
I know
well.
Cricket's
Jasmina's not a big
probably
fan.
one. I was going to say
Big
cricket's
shake of the
probably...
head from Jasmina.
probably
I
one
would
you're
rather
gonna...
grate my kneecaps.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Jeez, don't watch the Ressies.
Got very
channel then.
graphic.
Yeah.
Just
I
imagining
would,
grated skin now.
Yeah, that's what I would rather do.
Don't think cricket is up there, but yes, other sports is definitely something that we will look into eventually, whether that's someone we can get people to do a different sport that we're so much into, so we might
I
get
love
another
basketball. I
Yeah.
love basketball.
but we
So-
might we might find someone, a bestie who loves cricket as well, and they can do it. So Jasmina doesn't have to personally.
Jasmina wouldn't. She's like,
Save
I'm
the
not editing
knees.
those.
No.
I'm not uploading those. You
I'm
can
not
deal with all
touching
that.
that with a 10-foot pole.
But there's always every chance, and it can be in the 5-year plan that we expand and see where we can take it.
She's related it back to the first quote. It's very good.
Absolutely.
Media trained.
Jack Cunningham, I wonder if it's any relation to David, has said one player from another club that you wished played at Carlton.
we actually
There's so many.
There's so many.
So many. I thought you were going to be like,
not
nah,
for
I love my
don't know
Carlton
if I have
boys.
many. Jazz does. Where do you want to start? Pick one.
Give me a position.
We just need a player.
Ruck. So you
I don't
didn't
like any
didn't
of the
sync up on
other-
TDK before.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the other ruckmen.
Not
Can you
even
give me
Max
another one?
Gorn.
Backman.
Oh, James Sicily. I love him a lot.
She told him the other day.
Yeah.
Actually.
Did you bump into him?
She went to the Hawthorn Open training with our Hawthorn besties to help
I just
out.
said, hey, I just need to tell you I love you, even though I'm a Carlton supporter. Just one of these.
What was his response?
He was like, oh, sick.
Literally.
That's
Yeah.
nice. He was like, that's nice. Sick.
Have you got one, Tori?
Surely.
Who have you got?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. A backman or a different position?
Like, just because I like the player or because of their footballing
Just
ability?
play you'd be keen to get into Carlton games. Trade week just finished, obviously, a few weeks ago.
There's so many.
So maybe
There's
there would have been
so
one where you're
many.
like, "Oh, I wish we got that player."
Oh, it's a great question.
Imagine Bailey Smith in a Carlton Guernsey.
Well,
well, I mean, if we're going to go down that path, we actually started a massive rumour
yeah, there was a
last year.
big Twitter rumor
It
that
got to the
started.
point where like everyone thought it was real. It was so good.
there was memes going around and
It's
Just
a
go
everything.
really
Bailey
good
Smith.
place Twitter to put a few fake rumours up and see how far they
Just
run.
throw
It was
something
so
out there.
accidental and it just went wild. The Bailey Smith to the Blues. Yeah, look, every player that ever exists ever.
Danaher?
No,
Oh.
that's a you thing.
I love him as well.
No.
Shout out, Joe.
This is a
Got a
tough
good
one.
one.
You got a Ratio Fantasia recently as well. What's your thoughts on that one?
Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a handy content piece.
That's what we were
We're
saying.
excited. We're
If he kicks
hoping
a
we
few
can. We
goals.
have a Carlton Open training on Saturday the 16th. So we're hoping that we.
Ratio Fantasia.
Is that a Harry Potter reference?
The vodcast will love that
No,
one.
it was SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Imagination.
Ah.
So,
I
Tori,
thought it was like
are you-
Wingardium
Do I have a
Leviosa.
player?
Do you have a
A
player
Ratio.
from any club?
Any club.
Just any club.
Any club.
Just name one that you'd love at Carlton.
You're taking up all the time, Tori.
Me.
This is
I as a footballer
We should have put a
perspective,
30-second
Yeah.
time on
Yeah,
this
we
one
should
too.
have.
one as well.
I'd love a player like Isaac Heaney at the club. I think he's
Valid.
a
Yeah.
Good. It's good.
He's a good
very
man.
good player.
He's very bad at rock paper scissors. He
Oh,
bends the
no.
rules,
We'll beat him at rock, paper, scissors, and he loves bringing it up a lot.
and then he changed the rules on me. But we'll leave that for another
How do you
day.
say rock, paper, scissors, by the way?
This is an interesting one. This
I
is a very
usually
interesting.
say rock paper scissors and show on scissors.
Oh,
But
that's
I
illegal.
have been able to adapt to
That's-
other people's rules.
In
of
Adelaide,
rock paper
coming
Yeah,
from,
but
scissors
is it-
shoot.
coming from
What's
Adelaide,
yours?
rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
But is it?
No, it's not.
You're gonna say paper,
Paper, scissors, rock.
It's so mess because I did this at a St Kilda media day,
Maybe that's
and
a bit
every player
maybe
had
it's
a different
girly
way.
thing because of paper. Like we're
It's like-
singing it. Paper, scissors. We're rock, paper, scissors. Just
Trying to
like-
hit the high notes.
Yeah,
on
we
the-
get the tune in there.
Yeah, I'm a very blunt down the line rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah,
And then-
right.
But I can adapt to rock paper scissors shoot.
So
Not paper,
That was very
scissors,
fast, though.
rock.
Yeah.
You're moving too fast for me. I just don't know if I can do that as fast.
Moving on. The last question we've got is from Tim Jackson. Would the besties ever play footy themselves?
I actually considered
12
it.
besties.
No.
Div 12 besties.
Jasmina, oh, should we send them
Is
the
she
clip of
crying
you
in
trying
laughter?
to? I was gonna say, should we send you guys the clip of her trying to kick a footy? I probably could. I have terrible knees though, so the ACL would be done in the
Hey,
first.
I used to play at school. I played at every level at school. I just stopped in high school because it was just like too rough.
But you're scary as now. In high school, you wouldn't do show and tell.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
actually that was primary school.
Yeah. well,
Don't make me sound like a timid. I won't say it anyway.
Teenager.
No,
What do
I
you
said
mean?
timid little.
You can say what you want. It's the Ressies podcast.
Oh yeah, don't make me sound like a timid little fuck because I'm not that.
There it is.
Yes.
We got a swear word out
The
of two.
fire-
Besties bingo. We're almost there.
Fire in the belly.
What's the last one that you need?
I don't know actually.
Oh, it didn't actually make a bingo.
I think no, they got one because you said something about Harry Mackay, and of course you'd bring him up at some stage.
Oh, that's
So that's a bingo.
given. Every
Yeah.
single everything.
So would you play footy or no? Where'd we go?
Would you ever come
I
back and
would.
play
I would
footy?
actually play footy, but I'm more concerned about the injuries that I will receive to my knees because I have terrible knees just from previous sports I've played.
And if you played
Join
footy,
the
would
club.
Jasmina go wandering or
Do I look like I could play footy?
the nails?
We both have nails on at the moment though, but it's Christmas.
Yeah,
I have nails
I'm
on
sure
all
for
the
the
time.
occasion.
It's
If
the
you got
festive
asked to
season.
play one game next year, would you rock up for it?
I would.
Yeah.
What? Well, where though? Who are we playing with? With you
Probably
guys?
not
Oh.
with me.
Jesus Christ!
But
I'll end
like,
up dead.
say a women's team said, "Hey, we really want the besties
Yeah.
to come out for a game."
Oh,
Yeah, I'd go
yeah,
play.
I guess.
Yeah, good.
Got my
Okay.
hair in braids. Go for it.
Div 12 besties
There'd be a
2024.
couple fresh
12
areas, but
besties.
we'll go with it. It's alright.
Yeah.
That's all the questions we've got from the listeners, and we're about to open up the best segment ever on the podcast.
Do you know what the best segment is?
I swear to God, if you bring anything Collingwood out here, I will actually throw hands.
Should have got some Collingwood stuff. I thought about it, thought long and hard about it, but it's time for Checkers Checkout, which is, I've been calling it internationally famous. I actually had a box which I normally put these in,
Okay.
and I brought it on the podcast a few weeks ago, and everyone was really pumped because I had my own box for this segment and took it home, and I didn't realise, and I got home and I accidentally stepped on the box. It's on my floor.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna have to get another box. So it's in a bag today, unfortunately. Normally I can give you a box and you shake it around. You can do a bit of guessing, but I give you a food product and you have to eat it. That's how this episode,
Oh.
this works.
I have a lot of intolerances.
Good. So the previous ones we've had spam, lobster in a can or in a bottle.
No, I'm not.
We've had chocolate
you.
cake,
Okay. Well, let's see what it
instant
is.
mashed
first.
potato,
Yeah.
which we
Interesting.
made live on the podcast.
That was a little
So today I'm
DIY cooking
going
class.
to give you it. I'm really disappointed I don't have my box. It would have been a good episode for a box, but it's crushed it in our recycling bin.
It's now
So
coming
you've
out
got
of
two Kinder Surprises.
Aww. Thank you.
Because the surprise wasn't there with the box. I couldn't surprise them, so I thought I had to
What do you
surprise them in a
reckon's in
different way.
the,
We gave them the Kinder.
In the little yellow bits.
Yeah, what's a toy? They need
toy,
to make
yeah.
footy Kinder surprises. Imagine
I
that.
really hope Patrick Cripps is in here.
Like a little footy mascot or something.
Three eggs wasn't in the budget.
Oh, it's
Well,
a bit melted. I'm gonna
actually,
eat it.
good friend of the podcast, not on the podcast, Schrader Aid once told me Kinder is not an everyday chocolate. Because he can't afford it. He said it's a tier above Cadbury, so it's not an everyday chocolate.
Fair enough. If Trey's saying that, that's fair. Jasmine hasn't even had a bite.
Yeah, she wants to
She's
get into the
gone
toy.
straight for the toy. I don't mind it.
Yeah, did you see how I opened it?
Split it down the
Like
middle,
a little
yeah.
It's an interesting
clam.
technique.
Yeah.
It's a good technique though.
I'm normally like I smash the top in.
I've got a fox.
I usually bite the top off and then pour it
It's a
out.
kangaroo. No,
A deer.
it's a deer.
I got a fox.
No, there's a story time behind
The little
that.
toys in the Kinder Surprise have been revealed. A fox and a kangaroo. No Charlie Curnow
No,
on
it's not a
side.
kangaroo.
No.
It's a
I'm
really upset
deer.
about that.
No Charlie
I'm
Curnow.
actually really upset.
It's a
Spewing.
deer. It's not a kangaroo.
Well, that's Checkers Check Out for another week. Next week, new box will return. I need to go back shopping and buy
Got to
one.
put some funding into the.
And I need to not
into the
store it on my
checkout,
bedroom
man.
floor and then walk into my bedroom without the lights on and just step on it.
Here we go. A bit
The
of
fox is getting a bit of airtime on the microphone
Yeah.
right now.
look out.
I don't mind it. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, girls. It was good to chat. Good to hear about Besties Footy. I'm excited for what 2024 will bring. If you ever need any two overweight, ugly-looking blokes to do any content for your Besties channel, you know who to hit up.
Hey, you've done it before.
Ask Joel and Trey.
We had.
No, I can't say that.
I was
Ask
going to
us.
say,
Always ask
but
us.
Checkers has done a wandering for
I've
us
done a couple
before.
Besties wandering. I wore a
Absolutely.
suit jacket because I was formal, but I was here to party because I had my Carlton
Yeah.
Guernsey underneath.
Yeah.
Charlie kicked 10 that day.
Party
Charlie
on
did
top.
kick 10
It
that
was
day.
amazing.
And I had my suit jacket in the stands and we're waving around me and Connor Rogers. So,
Good man.
Besties Footy, go follow it on where can we find it? Instagram, TikTok.
Instagram, TikTok,
And
and
Twitter.
Twitter.
Or
Twitter.
X. And
X.
X.
Where can we find the One Direction fan club on Twitter?
Simply Jasmina. If you scroll for like
A
a very
while.
long time.
Just search up all.
Well, it's been great having you on. Go follow. We'll have it in the show notes, the Besties channels. You can go find them. Go check out the Wandering episode, specifically the one I was on. But yeah,
Yeah.
go check out the actual video of you guys handing out the
You're
bracelets. It's probably
actually
my
in
favourite
quite
one.
a few of our videos. I don't know if you've.
Yeah, you guys
Watched
should have
a
got a
few.
video of Jasmina bullying me after St Kilda lost. It would have got a lot
there
of
is.
views.
It's
Oh,
there.
it's
I
there.
think a lot
It's
of
there.
people would have
If
enjoyed
you're in the
It's still
that.
Saints
there.
post game, go
It's
on.
literally at the end.
There's a
Wiki,
video of
wiki,
Jasmina
wiki.
bullying Jarrah as well. So if people want to
Actually,
see,
that's the best
Yeah.
Besties clip ever.
if people want to go watch that one, we might get him to pin it to the top just so people can.
Yeah, well, Jared's about to put his Collingwood Guernsey on and his boxing gloves, so we're going to head out into the office at Producing and have this fight. But thanks again for coming on, Will. No Shrey for second
No
week in a row. I'm going to
Shrey.
need you to sign us out because I don't. It's so crook how we sign this podcast out. We should have a funny
Get
gag.
Tori
No,
to
we've
sign
got
you
this
out.
paragraph.
Oh.
We don't have a funny gag. I think we need to change it up because
our endings are great of our
All right.
podcast.
Tori, you can sign us out of the podcast this week because normally we say this paragraph like go follow us, go
See ya,
review
love.
us, and it sucks.
Thanks everyone for listening
To what
Where?
podcast?
to the
the
Ressies
podcast.
podcast. This is Jasmina.
This is Tori.
We're with Will and Checkers.
Oh, I thought you were DJ.
Oh yeah,
Wiki,
yeah, and DJ Wiki Loser.
And that's the Ressies podcast.
That's better. That's better than the.
I
the
think
way
you
we
should
usually
get us
do.
to record that for you. Just play it at the end every time.
Pre-recorded. Done. Bang.